Hi everyone, welcome to the #1 Divine Intervention virtual event, the D.I.V.E Social Summit for short. If you are new to D.I.V.E Live Online, then my name is Iona Meade, your big vision and mission purposepreneur and founder of the Soul Speakers Academy. So I am your host for this interview series, where I've brought together 49 guest experts who I like to call soul speakers from all over the world. So I will be bringing our soul speakers into the Soul Speakers Spotlight for you and sharing soul-inspired, intuitive business, lifestyle, and marketing strategies for purpose-driven business owners. So throughout the 49 days of the Social Summit, my guests will be sharing with you not only their free gift, but their soul-inspired strategy for the day. So you can get the freebie for today. You'll be able to follow the link. I'll put that for you. So hopefully this will be coming to you in divine energy, in divine flow, and in divine timing, because we know that the universe brings us what we need. Doing it all alone is not always much fun. So that's why we have the Soul Speakers Tribe Facebook group for you, so you can connect with me, connect with my guests and the attendees for the Social Summit. So I also have some bonus training throughout the Social Summit. It's called Speaker Soul's Message 101. So you're going to want to get into that. And we also have each of our guests contributing to our Uber giveaway. So for today, we'll get going. We have 20 minutes or so, and I'll welcome my very special guest. I'm so excited. Please welcome Meredith. Let me put you on screen. Hi, Meredith.
Hi there.
How are you?
I'm great.
Okay, let me give you a proper introduction. So Meredith Eisenberg, and hopefully I'll say that right, who is the founder of the Time Traders Club, an online time and skills exchange for entrepreneurs. Meredith has 8 years of experience helping smart women build amazing online businesses. So guys, if you have any questions for Meredith today throughout this interview, if you are watching this on Meredith's featured day, then do come into the Facebook group and ask any questions. If you're watching after that, then we still want you to come and move into divine flow. So Meredith, before we kick off with our soul inspired strategy for the day, can you share with our audience a little bit about your path, how it unfolded, and why you're doing what you're doing today?
Okay, so basically, my life just changed instantly one day.
Yeah.
Without really, if you had told me the day before everything was going to unfold this way, I wouldn't have believed it. Right. I was living in Washington, D.C., and I was a public information officer for a local government. So that meant, I got people to recycle, I got people to do different things. And we were living in D.C., which was on the other end of the country from our family, and my daughter was 3. And I thought, I don't really want her to grow up in this big of a city. I want her to grow up someplace where she can play and make friends and not feel so competitive. Because already at 3, people are like, what school is she going to go to? Are you getting her prepped for this and that and this and that? I'm like, okay, we got to be somewhere else. So my husband and I decided to move back west to be closer to our families. And he looked for jobs in alphabetical order. He's an engineer. And so we landed in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Well, that was awesome, except there's not a lot of employment opportunities at the level I was at in D.C. in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And besides the fact my daughter was 3, and I was wanting to spend more time with her because it seemed like time was going so fast. And working full time, out of the home, I didn't ever have any time to spend. No. And so I put up my shingle as a virtual assistant. I was really lucky because my previous job kept me on virtually for 6 months, which was cool because it was government, and I was just expecting the headlines to be, Fairfax County hiring girls from Mexico to do their PR, even though it's New Mexico, nobody knows that. So that's what happened. And I've grown since. I did make a mistake, which I have started my current business to help people avoid. Which is that I like doing stuff and I like learning stuff. Yeah. So if there's anything to do or anything to learn, I'll learn it and do it. Yeah. So I became a jack of all trades and a master of none. Wow. So nobody really would take me seriously as an expert in anything because I knew how to do everything.
Wow.
And so I got stuck, and I thought, how can and I kept working with these clients who had the same problem.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they had the same issue that they were trying to do too much of everything all at once. And so they could delegate to me, but even then they felt they weren't getting better at what their craft was.
Yeah, I get it.
Because they were just like all over the place all the time. And not really clear on anything, you know, who's their audience. And they weren't paying attention to me because they hired me to be their virtual assistant, not their business coach. You know, so it was like, and so finally I just thought, okay, so what can I do? Because I truly believe in the online collaborative economy.
Yeah.
And I truly believe this is the way of the future. People were moving out of an industrial age, moving back into kind of a version of what was happening in the Middle Ages, but better, hopefully, where people are independent, right? And you're an independent craftsman and you're making your own way in the world. And I'm thinking, how can I help this happen better for people?
Yeah. Wow.
And I thought, you know what? I'll start the Time Traders Club. And so I did. And here I am.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you. I knew a little bit about your story and how it unfolded. And it's funny, right? Because when you start on one path, or you know, like you say, you hang up your shingles and you decide to do something, you know, as long as you're in movement and you're moving towards the lifestyle that you wanted to create, things show up, and you stop and you think about it and think, okay, what is it that people are coming to me for? I love that you say that. And what is it that I can provide, rather than trying to be doing everything and not being considered as an expert at one. And I know that probably, you know, if you resonate with this, then do let us know. Because sometimes when we start out a certain direction, we feel a little bit fearful of actually stopping and saying, is this working for me? Is it?
Exactly. I mean, I spent 7 years, and I still, to this day, I finally got to the point where I could say no.
Yeah.
Like I decided, I guess maybe 3 years ago, that I wasn't doing the online business manager deal anymore, because it just wasn't, you know, what I needed to do. I needed to focus. But then I spent another 3 years not saying no. So people would say, could you do this one thing for me? And then all of a sudden they're my client and they're giving me stuff to do all the time. And I'm like, how did that happen again?
I'm sure that many people resonate with that. You kind of get into that because you're a giver and you serve, and if you know how to do many things, when somebody asks you, can you do this? It's like, well, yeah, I can. But it is that key of saying, right? So before we do share that strategy, and each of our guests are contributing a freebie for you. So Meredith is contributing a marketing challenge, right? Because doing what you do in your business, then you know that building a business and systems around what you do, and also getting your message out there, actually getting in front of the people that you feel called to serve, that you want to make that difference to in the way that you want to, and doing that effectively. So Meredith has designed this marketing challenge. Can you share a little bit more about that, please?
Yeah, basically I think that the biggest barrier that people have is lack of clarity.
Yeah.
It becomes so much about what do I want to do, and less about what problems can I solve for people? What are people going to be looking for me to do for them? Yeah. And so what the challenge does is over the course of 7 lessons, which are delivered over a month, and it reboots every month. So I know this is running the very end of October, so I think it will be set for November. But if it still says October, don't worry, you're set for November.
We're good, because we repurpose everything that we do, so don't worry.
So it's every month. And basically, the point of it is to get really clear. Who's your tribe? What do they need? How do you get in front of them? What do you need to do as far as setting out a plan to get that done? And then how do you measure whether or not your marketing is successful? Because I find that metrics piece is so unsexy to most of us. Yeah. We're like, oh my God, numbers, spreadsheets, but if you don't measure it, you'll never know it works, because 97% of the time, it's not what you think. Whenever I do split tests, I'm always surprised. I'm like, really? I would have guessed it was the other way.
Yeah, love that. Thank you so much. And just having that plan. One, the challenge is kind of like it juices you up to say, well, actually, between this date and this date, this is what I'm going to be doing. And it's perfect for whether you're starting out or whether you've been in business for a while, because if you're just starting out, it's great to start with that energy and quickly find out what's working, what you love to do, where your ideal clients are hanging out, and the structure that Meredith gives you. And if you've been in business a while, then it's like, oh, you might just be tired, right? And just like, do I have to do this again?
And the other thing, Iona, is I've noticed that people need a reboot.
Yeah.
And everyone that I've worked with that gets to that like mid 6-figure level, they get to a point where they're doing the thing that they never really wanted to do, but they got clients doing.
Yeah.
I guess, you know, and then eventually they get to the point where they make a pivot to their soul's purpose more because they built the community and they have the desire, but you still need to go back through and do like the marketing challenge and really get clear. Okay, now that I'm pivoting, who's my ideal audience and how do I get in touch with them and how do I measure? And the metrics are going to be completely different at different stages of your business.
Yeah, that is so true. It's key, right? Because when, you know, sometimes, and it depends on what it is that you're putting out there, when you're putting it out there. And sometimes when we are marketing and you're saying, you know, sometimes we don't focus on the problem that we're solving. Sometimes that can evolve, right? And then our marketing, or we're rebranding certain things or adding to what it is that we're doing. So getting that feedback as you're marketing and seeing what's working is key, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I love that. So you talk about the implementation piece, and I know that, you know, as purpose-driven business owners, we don't necessarily want to do the mark. That's not what we signed up for. Like you're talking about your craft. You know, you want to be spending time being in service, being with your clients more so than actually marketing. So it's really great that you help people to focus on where their gifts are at. And if someone that doesn't want to necessarily do like that, they're thinking, oh, this challenge, really, can I keep up with that challenge? Am I going to actually get clients from it? Is it going to work for me? What would you say to somebody that's thinking along those lines?
We do a couple of things with it, right? One is that it's a 7-day challenge spread over 30 days. So you have time in between to do things, and you have the Facebook group to support you, and even, you know, to start making some relationships with people to help you out. But the second thing I would say to you is that if you don't do it, you definitely won't get clients.
Yeah, true.
Is that you know, clarity is the antidote to overwhelm. Yeah. And so if you're feeling at all overwhelmed in your business, if the marketing is feeling really heavy to you, then that means it's time to build a scaffolding. It's time to build that system. I liken it to a river, you know, like a river, like water just in its natural state is a puddle. It doesn't go anywhere, right? So you add banks to it, and then it contains the water, and then the water flows. And it's the same thing with your business. It's the same thing with having a marketing plan. The marketing plan is the banks to the river that allows your energy to flow into your clients. But you need to set that up. And the other thing is we teach you how to get some of this plan implemented is part of the challenge. So that, I mean, I'm a big believer that people need to do what they're passionate about and what they're good at, and not waste so much extra time and energy just like banging your head against the wall, learning how to do things you have no business doing.
Yeah. we talked about that before, right? And I love that. Thank you. And supporting. So, you know, if you, again, the link will be below. So I give you permission to multitask as usual. So do sign up for that. And again, Meredith has that community, the people who are on the same path in terms of the challenge. They might have started the challenge, they might be ahead of you, or as you get going, then you might be able to reach out. Because I think sometimes as business owners, especially at home, we feel alone sometimes and we don't know what to do. So having that support is really great. In terms of marketing, because marketing is such a big word, right? It can encompass so many things.
Oh, yeah.
Should we talk about that? Just kind of honing that in for somebody who is saying, this marketing stuff is just giving me a headache. Somebody says I should.
Okay. So here's the simple. If you bring it down to its base, right? You need to know what problem you're solving.
Yeah.
And for whom.
Yeah.
And if everything you write and everything you do is focused on explaining that problem, explaining how you know you have that problem, giving hints about how to solve that problem, that's 90% that's most of it. But then the other part of it is, how do you put yourself in the service of the people who need you?
Yeah.
So is that being on Facebook, if that's where they are? Is that making an email list and sending emails out? I recommend that anyway. I think everyone should have their own list.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it's a basic. As a matter of fact, before you have a big website, I just put up a simple page where people can sign up for your list. That's all you kind of need. Yeah. And then and so that's it. How do you get in front of the people who you can help?
Yeah.
And
you give the plan to actually support people in doing that. So that's
and that's all it is. I think people get really overwhelmed when they don't have a plan.
Yeah.
Because they get that shiny object syndrome. Yeah. Or they're like the kid at the buffet where they're like, so many different things you can do. Your eyes just get wide. Yeah. And it's really not effective. It's better to figure out where your people are the most. Go do that. Get really good at that. Get that working for you.
Yeah.
There's a girl who does Facebook groups. So that's all she does. She has launched products. She's making 5 figures with one launch about Facebook groups. That's all she does.
Awesome.
She picked one strategy, uses the Facebook group to promote her Facebook groups class.
Yeah.
One strategy, just does it. And it works.
You work the heck out of it. So once you have your plan, you take the measure, like you say, and see where your audience hang out. So once you've done this, guys, you don't have to figure it all out from ground zero every time. Yeah. It's a working document, right? It's that plan, and it's your plan, so you get to decide what you put on it. And again, we want you to be moving in flow and picking up that momentum for your marketing. So do let us know how you find it. Do let us know what you find on the plan. So what's the first thing that they would do on the plan that they can come in if they don't have clarity on it, and they can come in on your feature day and ask you a couple of questions about, or what's the first thing that they'd get started, and they'd just sit down? How long will it take them to get started with your plan?
Okay, so basically each lesson is set out to be done in about 20 minutes.
Right, cool.
I don't want this to be someone's second job. I want them to be working with their clients. That's the whole point of this whole thing. Yeah. But basically the first day is some really quick exercises to really figure out, to really look deep inside of you and figure out what it is you're called to do for people.
Yeah.
So figure out the problem first, and then figure out who needs that problem solved. Yeah. And some people will actually reverse it. I do it that way. Some people would rather, if they have a particular affinity to a specific group, then they'll do the group and then the problem. It doesn't matter. I start with the problem. Yeah. Because I think that makes more sense, but either way is good. Yeah.
And me too, actually. You want to know what it is, what problem, and who you're solving it for. Like you were saying, you mentioned your ideal clients. And that's from the core of everything that you do, your services. Yep. That leads your services, right? Because people want to go out, and that's maybe often why marketing hasn't worked for a lot of people, or they're finding it a challenge, or it's not as it doesn't light them up as much because they're not clear. That clarity hasn't come yet,
right? And people and your message, right? Like, I am one of those people that's a little guilty of this. So what are you doing now? Is it podcasting? Are you doing VA stuff? Are you doing this? Are you doing that? And if you can stay in your banks, then you can keep getting people the same message in different ways over and over again, because it takes 7 to 12 times for something to stick. So people think that the marketing's not working because they only send out one email. It's like, I sent out an email about my teleseminar and nobody signed up. Well, no one is going to sign up the first time you send them an email about anything.
Yeah.
80% of the people on your list didn't read it.
Yeah.
And that's if you're a good emailer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
yeah, it's true. And so when you say like there's so many touches and really communicating that, I think it's really key to actually, when you're measuring and seeing what's working. So obviously you're going to be guiding people into what is working and actually getting your message out there repeatedly and feeling good about that.
Yeah, and the other thing is that it helps you by measuring and figuring out what's working and what's not.
Yeah.
You can drop the things that aren't.
Oh, for sure.
And just make your life easier, you know?
What a relief.
Exactly. I mean, you know.
I love it. Right, Meredith, I could speak with you forever and a day. And Meredith's got some really good stuff. So again, do follow that link and come and ask some questions, you know, get out of the, what you could say, funk and into the flow. So to help you do that, we have a soul inspired strategy from each of our guests today, and we have our soul inspired strategy from Meredith, and we touch on quite a few points. And the point behind the soul inspired strategy is, as Meredith is saying, and all of our guests are giving that freebie gift and those practical things, but it's not just the practical things, it's how you feel your way in your lifestyle, your marketing, and your business. And Meredith was a great example of that, saying, actually, I want to be home with my daughter, you know, I want to spend that time. So your lifestyle, you're feeling your way and aligning that. So Meredith, please do share your soul inspired strategy for today.
Okay, so my strategy is about delegation. Right. Because a lot of times people just don't even know where to start. So here's a really quick way to do it. Make a list of everything you do. And I recommend you actually put a notebook next to you and make a list of everything you do for a week. So you get it all there, and then put it in order. So the first order is, how close is it to your core mission? So if you're a life coach, the bookkeeping is going to be down at the bottom of that list. Yeah. Because it's not really what you do. Client interaction is going to be at the top of your list because that's core. That's what you do. So once you've done that, everything that's like not mission critical that you don't have to do. I mean, bookkeeping you have to do, but there are some things you can just cross off. Yeah. Like you don't even need to be doing it at all. You don't even need to find someone to delegate. It's just stupidness. You know, you're a member of too many groups that you need to check in with, whatever, get rid of that. Yeah. And then after that, look at the stuff that gives you energy and look at the stuff that takes energy away. And that stuff that is like more on the non-mission critical side, that's more on the takes energy away, but it's something you kind of have to do. Like bookkeeping is a good example. You sort of have to do it. Yeah. That's where you start with the delegation. Love it. Start there. And that makes it really easy because a lot of times people are like, I don't even know where to start, where to delegate. And this just makes it really easy and cut and dry.
Oh, thank you so much. So, if that's really helpful, and your list, you know, you might not want to share the whole list with us, but share maybe the top 3 things or what aha moment you had actually doing that.
Well, and that's also probably a good way to find some help, right? Yeah. So you put on the Facebook group that, you know, the top 3 things you want to get rid of are making graphics for social media posts.
Somebody else is going to come in and say,
someone's going to come in and say, I love doing that. That's my passion. Yeah. And so we can make some, you know, start some good arrangements right here, right now. So.
Wow, how amazing is that? I love it. I love it. Thank you, Meredith, for sharing that. Do come and let us know what are the things that, because there's probably going to be some common things when you think that it's just you that like doesn't like this stuff, this side of your business. You'll probably be surprised.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Don't like this stuff either, or it's not. It doesn't juice them up. Right. So that's really great. So thank you, Meredith, and we're going to wrap up the interview, and I'll ask you if you want to add anything at the end. So again, I give you permission, guys, to multitask. Go and get Meredith's freebie, so we can meet you in the Facebook group. And again, if you're watching this on Meredith's free featured day, then you can ask questions. If you're not, then do come over and just let us know how you find it, because we will be repurposing the summit. And following that divine guidance, and you being here is for a reason, right? So when you're freeing up that energy, not just for your marketing, it is going to have that impact in your lifestyle and your business as well. And do share this with anyone that you know who's been speaking to you and saying, this is where I'm stuck. So we do hope you get massive value from the Social Summit, and we'd be doing you a disservice if we didn't invite you to take inspired action as we have done today. In fact, all of our 49 guest experts, Meredith and myself included, believe in that transformation, believe that going at your business just for the sake of going at it and doing all these things is just draining you of energy. And if you want to be that person that's providing massive transformation in the world, you have that bigger vision and mission, as Meredith says, critical. And Meredith's, can you just pop yourself on mute because Meredith's dogs have come home.
Trying to do that.
Oh, thank you. So yeah, we want to be providing you with massive value in the summit, and we are not asking you to pay for the replays of the interviews. You have access to them lifetime for the freebies and the interviews, because we don't want to leave you behind closed doors stuck doing it all alone. So we are providing you with an Uber giveaway, and if you like what Meredith is sharing in the marketing challenge, she's also contributing to our Uber giveaway. Each of our guests are contributing as I offer the bonus training for the summit. It's called Speak Your Soul's Message 101, and I'll be opening up enrollment into my Speak Your Soul's Message, to my Soul Speakers Academy, where I talk about getting your message out there as that marketing strategy. We have fun collaborating and getting your message in front of more people. There are people who will have you feature on summits, virtual events, radios, and hangouts just like ours. So if you are interested in that, do come over to D.I.V.E Live Online. Do follow the link to Meredith's freebie, because it's gonna be a game changer for you, for your life, for your business, and your marketing. So Meredith, if you've got anything to add before we wrap up, you'll have to come out on mute, from on mute. And if we have your dog barking, it's fine.
Okay, now the dog has quieted down.
Okay.
We're recording this on a Sunday morning, so that's why. So I just want to thank you for giving me the chance to share. And I want to tell people to listen to all the lessons learned.
Mm-hmm.
Write them all down somewhere, because you don't have to do them all at once.
Yeah.
Just pick and choose and do a couple of insights at a time, because there's so much here for you. So that's the only thing I have to add.
Oh, thank you so much, Meredith. I really, really appreciate that. So I look forward to seeing you again for our next interview, as my guests will be continue to share their soul-inspired, intuitive business, lifestyle, and marketing strategies. This is Iona Meade signing off for now and saying I'll see you at www.diveliveonline.com. Take care.